the mystery pistol reveal. It's an FEG B9R. That's B as in boy 9R. More on that in a little bit. 380 double stack, alloy frame, metal slide. It is basically the equivalent of a Beretta 84 or ZZ82, Astra A60. It's in that wheelhouse, except a bit larger, somewhat heavier, menacing looking, but in reality it is just a simple 380 blowback. So let's take a look at what we got going on here. Let's do, of course, the safety check that some people seem to think is really important to do on camera. Okay, there we go. We got an empty gun. We got an empty mag. Okay, that's a 10-round mag, by the way. Now, before I go on, I will tell you this. There's a very clouded history about this gun due to the nature of FEG's turmoil that was going on at this time. The assault weapons ban hit them hard, and there were so many other things going on. This just sort of got lost in the shuffle. There is history here. Sorting it all out has been next to impossible. So, empty chamber. Let's go ahead and release that slide. And we got a decocker right here. All right, so we're decocked. All right, disconnects the trigger. Okay. Now, those of you who are familiar with Eastern European firearms will understand the hell I'm about to go through. Okay. That's brutal. I have a trigger pull gauge, manual one, and it doesn't go high enough. So I'm guessing well over 12 pounds. Now, single action, it's another story. I've compared this to the Beretta and the CZ. Not so bad. Bit of slob, you hit the wall, and then boom, not much to it. Okay, it's a little more than the CZ83. The CZ83, by the way, has a fantastic trigger. Okay, so I'm going to be taking you to the range soon, and I'll let you know how it works. But some of you are going to ask the question of like, well, what's up with the Turkish police? I don't know. I can only tell you what's speculated, and that is that FEG was desperate for cash, and so they put together an order for Turkey to try out to see if they wanted to place an order. They didn't. They were more interested in 9mm handguns, and so they ended up in the U.S. The same thing happened with Latvia marked guns of the 9mm variety. I think they were a high power, or their p9rs. I really don't remember. In 40 Smith & Wesson. And then they also had some of their older PA63s or equivalent, the Walther PPK inspired clones that were marked for the South African police, and those came into the country as well. And all of those were, I believe, imported by between KBI and SME. Okay, I'm not 100% sure about that because I don't have access to official records. Rather, I have access to records that a rather well-respected historian has put online, but they were his interpretation of whatever records he could get a hold of. They weren't official records because he really couldn't get a hold of all the official records. So that's what I'm trying to say. Once you start asking questions, you start chasing down this rabbit hole, that rabbit hole, that rabbit hole, that rabbit hole. I am not Forgotten Weapons. I would love to be Forgotten Weapons. Man, that's like a dream job. But there's just no way I could research this thing accurately. Maybe one of you knows more than me. That's fine. And if you have any questions, even if you want me to speculate, I will. But I can honestly tell you that I don't know much. I know some serial number ranges. I know some numbers made. I know for sure which importers touch them. I can tell you how many videos on YouTube other than this one I'm going to put out. YouTube has 29 billion videos, and 2 of those videos are about this gun, and they're not even about the gun. They're about a guy in Peru Cerakoting 2 different B9Rs. So that tells you how relatively rare this gun is, at least here in the US. So that said, I do need to go get a range report, and then I am going to hand this over to somebody who knows much better how to present a history of a firearm than I do. And that'll be Tinker Talks Guns. When? Don't know, because I've been procrastinating lately, but it will happen. So until then, have a good night.